The Jarketh had studied humanity for 3 cycles before they deemed Earth ready for harvest. Their xenobiologists had cataloged every weakness, every vulnerability, every fracture in the species that called itself civilized. Humans fought amongst themselves over invisible lines, over ancient texts, over the color of skin and the shape of eyes. They were divided, fragmented, easy prey. Commander Thrax's mandibles clicked in satisfaction as he reviewed the assessment. Humanity had one fatal flaw that made them perfect targets. They could not unite. Their history was written in blood spilled by their own hands. The Jarketh would simply accelerate what humans did best: destroy themselves. The harvest ships descended on a Tuesday afternoon. In Riverside Park, Mumbai, the first collection pod landed with a thunderous crash that shattered the peaceful autumn day. Children scattered like startled birds. Parents grabbed whoever was nearest and ran. The pod opened with a hiss of pressurized gas and the harvester emerged. It stood 4 meters tall, a bioengineered nightmare of chitin and muscle, designed to terrify and subdue. Its 6 eyes scanned for optimal targets. The Jarketh protocols specified collecting the young and vulnerable first. Break the spirit of a species by taking what they treasured most. The harvester's sensors locked onto a group of girls near the fountain. 5 teenagers frozen in terror. Easy prey. What happened next was not in any Jarketh database. Rajesh Kumar was 43 years old, an accountant who took his evening walk through the park every day after work. He saw the creature advancing toward the girls. He saw them stumbling backward, paralyzed with fear. And something ancient stirred in his chest. Something the Jarketh had dismissed as weakness. He ran toward the beast. He had no weapon. No training. No plan beyond placing his body between the monster and those children. The harvester's claw swept out and caught him across the chest, sending him flying into a bench. Ribs cracked. Blood flowed. But Rajesh struggled to his feet, putting himself in the creature's path again. "Run!" he shouted to the girls. "Run!" Priyameta, a medical student, saw Rajesh fall the second time. She saw the monster raise its appendage for a killing blow, and she found herself sprinting forward, a rock in her hand, screaming at the top of her lungs. The rock bounced harmlessly off armored hide, but the harvester turned its attention to her. That's when old Mr. Chowdhury, the park's gardener, swung his shovel into the creature's leg joint. Then Amit, the college student, launched himself at the beast with a cricket bat. Then Fatima, the school teacher, drove her umbrella into its eye cluster. They had nothing in common, these people. Different religions, different castes, different languages, different politics. The Jarketh research had been very thorough on this point. Humans were a fractured species, incapable of coordinating, too suspicious of each other to mount effective resistance. But the Jarketh had made one critical miscalculation. They had studied human history, the wars, the genocides, the countless divisions. What they had failed to understand was the why. They saw only the conflict, never the cause. Humans didn't fight because they were weak. They fought because they cared so fiercely about protecting what they loved that they would die for it. Even die for ideas about how to best protect it. And when something threatened not just one tribe but all tribes, when the danger was clear and present and undeniable, humanity remembered what it really was. The harvester went down under a swarm of humans armed with nothing but improvised weapons and desperate courage. It transmitted a distress signal that was intercepted not by Jarketh reinforcements, but by human authorities. Within the hour, military forces mobilized. Within a day, the world's governments had established a unified command structure. Within a week, Earth's entire industrial capacity had pivoted to war production. The Jarketh had expected chaos, infighting, denial. Instead, they faced something their 3 cycles of observation had never predicted: a united human response. Commander Thrax watched the tactical displays with growing disbelief. The humans were sharing technology across old enemy lines. Nations that had been on the brink of war were now coordinating strikes with terrifying efficiency. Scientists from rival powers worked side by side. Factory workers in hostile countries manufactured parts for the same weapon systems. "This is impossible," Thrax clicked. "They hate each other. Our data is conclusive." His tactical officer's antennae drooped in confusion. "Commander, new reports." "The humans they're laughing at us on their communication networks. They're saying," the officer hesitated, "they're saying we helped them end their curse. Thrax pulled up the human broadcasts. A young human female, one of the girls from the park, was being interviewed. Her name was Aisha, and she spoke with the clarity of someone who had seen truth. "We were always good at coming together when it mattered," she said. "We just forgot for a while. We got lost in our arguments about how to protect each other and forgot that we're all worth protecting. Those people in the park, they didn't check each other's IDs before they fought that monster. They just fought. Maybe we needed something from outside to remind us who we really are." Behind her, the park had been transformed into a memorial. Flowers surrounded a new monument bearing the names of the 3 who had died that day: Rajesh Kumar, Priya Mehta, and old Mr. Choudhury. The first casualties of the war, the ones who reminded humanity what it meant to be human. The Jarketh fleet retreated after 47 days of devastating losses. They updated their databases with a new classification for humanity: apex predator, cooperative type, extreme danger. Avoid at all costs. Commander Thrax filed his final report as his ship limped toward the nearest repair station. Analysis. Initial assessment was correct. Humanity is fractious, divided, prone to internal conflict. However, this appears to be a feature, not a flaw. Their divisions make them practice warriors. Their arguments sharpen their thinking. Their competition drives innovation. But when threatened externally, they possess an override mechanism we failed to identify. A species-wide protective instinct that supersedes all tribal boundaries. Recommendation: do not engage. Do not provoke. Do not threaten their young. They call this instinct many things in their various languages, but it translates universally to one concept: humanity. In Riverside Park, Aisha and her friends placed fresh flowers on the memorial every week. The monument's inscription was simple, chosen by consensus from millions of submissions. Here, strangers became family. Here, humanity remembered itself. The curse of division had never been humanity's true nature. It was just the price of caring so much that they argued about the details. When the beast came for their children, they didn't see Muslims or Hindus, rich or poor, citizen or stranger. They saw only humans protecting humans, and the universe learned what Earth had always known but sometimes forgot. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't that they never fell. It was that they always got back up, together.